This weekend I had another auto racing epiphany after watching NASCAR at Watkins Glen. After reading about Delta Wing, wanting to be the spec car for the Indy Lights series, completely ignoring the logic of how that would be productive, non-productive, as a training ground for talent for the big Indy cars with a completely different car technology and setup feel. And following 3 events across the US and the globe, the World Time Attack Challenge from Australia, and from the US, the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, and Bonneville Salt Flats, their speed competition. When I looked at those events, when I read all the current racing news and compared it all to the mindset of big-time professional racing, well, a key point about racing hit me. And as car fans, I wonder if it hits you too. Come back and find out WTF I am talking about, because it could spark a ton of comments and debate, and it may just turn into a classic shakedown rant. You know, with the Leo shouting voice and hand gestures that some of you all love to comment about. But I'll be talking about cars while you're wanking on about my hosting skills. And that's the hint for today's epiphany. Focus on the cars. I was reading a newspaper article lamenting how, as a nation, the US has stopped being a country of craftsmen, craftspeople. We don't make things anymore. We don't do it-yourself projects. We don't know how. We just watch others do it on TV, I guess. Oh sure, we're here crafting videos, and some microbrewery is crafting beer, and a cook or chef will tell me they're crafting a culinary dish, or someone's writing lines of code or making an app. But building real well, we're no longer seeing that as our style. And that's when it hit me. With Bonneville, Pikes Peak, World Time Attack, it's not just about the racing. It's a celebration of craftsmanship and individuality. In each event, each car is its own unique design and unique interpretation of how to go fast. And as car guys, you'll like that. It's why you're watching Tuned and Big Muscle. Someone building something special, their own, and in racing, putting that to the test versus others. Not a mega corporate exercise, not everybody racing unicar spec cars, not rules that prevent craftsmanship or narrow the skill down to who's the best at micromanaging the tolerances of a parts assembly or a bodyline fit to get the most speed. Real cars, custom cars, individual designs. And that came to me as the epiphany. While real racing for the most part is busy trying to make the show better or control costs or limit the tech to control costs and make the show better, they're forgetting what car guys love about cars: individuality and craftsmanship. Everyone doing their thing and maybe the best engineering plus driving plus the car win. Like at Bonneville. Check out these cars, they are awesome. Now I have no idea who's winning right now or what's going on really, because the event runs through August 17th and the website kind of sucks. And it feels like a bunch of old guys on the desert, but who cares? I want Bonneville to be cooler than the Texas Mile BS. Or how about this collection of Pikes Peak competitors? Hey, even Audi was there. No, not with the fenderless R18 from Le Mans. They had the pace car, but that would have been cool if they ran the R18 up. The event was kind of a mess this year. Kind of screwed up with handling of the fans. It's all pavement this year, so it was really too much danger. And there were guys cheering crashes. I'm sure you've already seen the Foley video. But really, who did what? Well, Reese Millen and his Genesis Coupe, they won overall. Followed very closely by Romain Dumas in his Porsche. They set records. 946.1s. The Porsche was only 2/10 back from that Hyundai. Then Ducati bikes, P3 and 4. The Palatov, with his new V8, was P5 overall and was the first car that kind of popped into the 10-minute mark. The next car was the Honda Electric. Did I say Honda? I meant Toyota. That was Freudian. I used to work for him. They were P6 at a 10-minute 15. And why did I say Honda by mistake? Well, there was an NSX there, but it really should be a WTF. I can't see the NSX in there. In all, at Pikes Peak, there were too many cars that did not post a time. I'm not sure what happened. If you know, kind of fill in the blanks in the comments. And then there are the rides from the World Time Attack Challenge that was in Australia. 40 miles west of Sydney is the Eastern Creek International Raceway, the only permanent circuit in Australia with an FIA Grade 2 international license. There were records all around, heavy speeds, and tech, a lot of tech. Now sure, there was money for the pro cars and a lot of money spent, but there were AM classes too. So individuals building their own cars at every level of this competition, and the freedom from racing restrictions to do so. Let me explain my epiphany a bit further. I like it when the GT and LMP classes of Le Mans racing show me different designs, different brands, all trying to go fastest. I like F1 and WRC for the same reasons, different solutions. But it's all about big money, big corporate craftsmanship and design. And I don't like IndyCar or NASCAR as much because they negate the car tech individuality with a spec car. And they even neuter the different engines via equivalency formulas. See, the epiphany is all about the real racer guys, building things, their cars. The cars of the stars as much as the driving, as much as the show. The people managing racing seem to forget that, forget the affinity that a car guy or girl has with the car, with a special car, with the person that made it special, that created it. Cookie cutter clone is hurting racing. And that's where the World Time Attack, Pikes Peak, Bonneville feel like the best of racing. So how can we promote more of that? You know, individual cars are a big part of what made racing cool. And you still want that, right? Racing still needs it, right? What do you think?